Alright, 1st of January 2025, I've got a couple of days off, so what better way to kick off the new year than with a new project. So behind me is our outdoor kitchen, and it's a bit of a mess, so we're going to do a little bit of a tidy up on there. But in particular, there's sort of down here, there's a mesh that keeps the dogs away from you when you're trying to cook. So I'm going to take that out, put a picket fence in it, and the style is going to be like the picket fence I've already got out there on the dog fence, but it's just going to be lower. It's a 900 high fence. So first step though is to clean all this up. So let's get into it. Right, I'm not sure how much footage I've got because the camera turned off, but basically now I have cleared the elephantier fern, and the game plan here when we're done is from that post to this post, picket fence about yay high, and then across to these two posts there'll be a same sort of picket fence, but there'll be a gate. These will be swinging gates, so you can have one gate for entrance, or we can swing a whole lot out if we need to get in there and do something major. So that's about it for the cleanup. I've still got to go to Bunnings and buy my stuff, so that'll probably be tomorrow's job, so stay tuned. Alright, I got my saw, I got my cut list, and as well as the shopping list, so let's go shopping. Stay tuned. Alright, one gate, some assembly required. I've got all my timber cut, and now I've just got to get it all home and put together. Stay tuned. Alright, we're home again, and I've got all the timber out of the car now. Now, when I was pulling this off the shelf, some of these felt a little damp. So this one here just feels a little bit damp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them sit out here in the sun for a little while, get dry, and then we can stain them. I think I'll probably leave them out here on this old workbench of mine, and then we can get them stained up and then start assembling. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, it's a few hours later, and this wood is looking a lot drier now, so I'm going to go and give it a quick light sand to take some of the muck off the surface, and then we can get to staining. So let's get into it. piece of sandpaper, I think. I'll be right back. Alright, that's all done now, so I'm going to stain them now. I'm just using this Cabot's Aqueduct. It's the Mervale colour. That's what I've used for everything else. It sort of gives it a bit of an orange sort of tint on permaplane, which is fine. So I'm going to get this stirred up and we can get into it. Rough outdoor work, you don't need any fancy brushes. I'm just using these cheap fence painting brushes that I got from Bunnings with all the wood. So I've got a 75 and 100mm for only a couple of bucks. So more than happy with that. Let's see how this looks. I'm going to get some gloves on the back in a sec. I don't mind this one, it's water based. So if I get it on me or on my shirt, it doesn't matter. I don't have to muck around with tips and stuff like that to clean up. I just put the clothes in the wash, jump in the shower, and we're good to go. That's all of it. Alright, it's the next morning. This stain is all dry, but as is normal, I had a flash of the blinding obvious overnight while I was sort of thinking about how I was going to put these pieces together, and I realised I'd made a mistake in some measurements. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we have the picket that we're going to use, and here is an 800 mil piece that I was going to use for the frame. Now, I've lined them up down the bottom there, but here's where the problem is. You see, you've got this overlap here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten it to 700, which will bring us back down to sort of about there, which will be better because then you've got a bit of the picket, you know, sticking up over the top, so it'll fit aesthetically. So I now have to cut 8 times for the 8 verticals on my frames and bring them all down to 700 before I start putting this thing together. So stay tuned. Alright, we're at construction stage. Blaine's decided to give me a hand. Okay, so what I've done is I've just put together the frame, mounting frame for the solid fence that's going down the side of the sauna. There's no diagonal cross piece on this one to keep it rigid. What I've done is I've sort of put them in position, screwed them once in each corner, so I'll still move it around, check the diagonals, they're the same. So this, and then I'll put a second screw in each corner, so that's what the frame. So now all we're going to do is put the pickets on. So let's get into it. Right. These pickets are 70 mil wide. I'm going to have, and my design says they're going to be 80 mil apart. So I've got an offcut here from previous mistake I made. So I'm going to make this 80 wide. So I've got a template to make sure they're uniform length. So bear with me while I make that cut. And you're going to be more artistically inclined, you might want to measure your line for your screws so they all line up in a row on your fence line. I'm not so inclined today, so close enough is good enough. I'm just going to eyeball it as long as the pickets are flush on the bottom and sitting correctly apart using my template. I know we're going to be all good. It's good enough. Alright, it's not a precise thing, so I'm going to have a slightly different gap on one end, but given you're not going to see this one too much, I'm not going to be too concerned about that. So the last gap's probably more like about 95, maybe 100, but like I said, you ain't going to see it, so it ain't going to matter. we have it. That's the first one. Now the others are going to have diagonal braces because they're going to be hinged and moving. This one's going to get bolted to the existing joists and posts, so it doesn't matter. But the others are a little more complicated. Alrighty, I'll put my hat on now because the sun's coming out and it's getting warm. My dog's going nuts for the reflection off my watch because the dog is a bit silly. But anyway, we've done the fence, now we've got the first gate. Now I'm going to do the small gate first. So that is this one's a metre wide, so same process as the last one. Basically, make our box. Rough shot on this diagonal before I start screwing things in. So 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 1. Not quite there. 1, 2, 1.5. This is going to be quite fiddly doing this. 1.5, okay, that's right. So, put one in each corner to start with, double check that measurement and then lock it in. Back it off just a little so I've got wiggle room. Alright, that's the basic box done. Now what I need to do is put a bracer on this one, which is this one. So I measured this roughly, it's oversized, so what we're going to do is I'm going to work out where I want this to sit and then just cut the diagonals off. I'm going to take off that bit there, and it should fit nice and flush across there. Now I'm going to go get a clamp for this because doing this by hand is going to suck. That blade was the original blade I got for that saw, so that's probably about 6 or 7 years old. It's done a few million cuts, but yeah, definitely needs replacement. I'm going to go offline for a second and just recalculate this. Alright, after a bit of jiggering around, I've worked out 85 gaps between them is close enough, and then just the one that's going to be virtually not visible up against the far post is going to be about 95. So it's a little bit different, but it's close enough as makes no odds. So all I'm going to do now is get these all attached, so let's get into it. The difference being this time, this side is going to be, this is the middle of the tow gate, so I have the other gate the other side, so my latch is going to go there, and my hinges are going to be on that side, so I'm going to start from this end this time and make sure everything's square before we start. Again, we're going to flush the bottom. And about the middle. Do that because the locking screws I put in the frame are not in the middle, they're sort of on the edges. So this way I don't worry about drilling into a screw. Actually, change my mind. I'm going to space this one the same. So that cumulative error we got isn't going to matter too much, really, because you're not going to really see it, because this is the end that's going to go on the far post, and it's not going to really matter if there's a centimetre or so of bit overhang on the end. I don't think it's really going to make any difference, so I'm not going to worry. I'm going to go for the equally spaced pickets, because you're going to see that more than you'll see this little bit of overhang. So let's do that. That's it done. That's it done. So we're still going to do the latch. I'll do that when we're mounting. The hinge is going to go on that end. I'll do that when we're mounting as well. But for now, that's done. Right, while I was offline, I put out the big gate and laid it out here, check the spacing is going to work with that 85 template, and that's going to be fine, although I can't make it on the bench because the bench actually isn't long enough, so I'm probably going to have to make it on the pavers and just show the panel was off. But while I was showing her while we were going through this, I made a very valid observation about the hinge. So these are the hinges I'm going to use. They're 300mm long, that's going to go along here. So what I've got to do, so the hinge is going to sit along there, which is no good. This here, like if I put a block there, it's going to introduce a weakness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, move it in somewhere around here, or put the hinge on first, and put this on over the top. It's not going to change the rigidity while I'm doing that, because I've already got this screwed in place and all the others are screwed in place. It ain't going to matter. But I've got to move this, put the hinge on top and bottom, and then put this over the top, which will actually clamp in position, will actually give you a little bit more strength anyway. So let's get into that. There's some challenge now. It's going to be putting it in a spot where I don't have to try and drill through these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to put the pickets back on first, and then see what that gives us. Did there is to screw them in just a little bit so that the screw is just protruding out here, because there's already a hole. I don't need to remeasure it. I just need to line the screw tip up with the hole and then lock it in. Now in place. Now those screws do push through a little bit, but that's okay. Actually, I'm wondering whether I actually need that. Because I've got the diagonal in there locking it in. Pretty square. I might reattach that one through there. No, I don't think I actually need this. What I'll do is I might anchor those instead. Sometimes these designs evolve on the fly. Okay. One rejig gate with hinges. So, all that has to happen now is to get hung up. Now let's start the last gate. Alright, time to get a long gate. Now I can't build the whole thing because it's on here precisely because my bench is not quite as long as this gate's going to be. I'm going to do what I can. So I've kind of had a bit of a look, bit of a layout already. My 85 gaps are still going to hold true. I have a little bit of an overhang on the end, but that's okay. That's where the hinges are going. So first up, let's get this square done. Now this one has a post in the middle of the gate as well to add to rigidity, and I'll put two diagonals on here, but so I'm going to do the square to this end initially, and then I'll put this one in, and then we'll do the other end. I think I might change it on the fly. We'll see how we go. This piece has also got a bit of a twist in it, so that's going to be fun to counteract. Not a big twist, but I think I'm going to have to sort of brute force it a little bit to make sure that it goes in and gets square. learned the lesson from the other gate. I can't even leave this post in position because that's where the hinge is going to go. That's why I had to take the other one apart. So this is temporary. This is just to help me set my square, and I'll be locking in the square with the other pieces and then taking this one off again before we put the pickets on. Okay, the other camera went flat, so I pressed on anyway. So I've got the second gate built, hinges are on, and dolly wheel is on. Let's have a look. Alright, so as you can see, one long gate. Got the dolly wheel on the corner here. That's going to be lockable. I've got the other wheel still to mount on the other gate, and down the other end I've got the hinges mounted. So that's going to go on the posts and the shade area, and then there's the other hinge there. So this one is now done. I'm just going to put the dolly wheel on the other gate, and then we can get to mounting. Stay tuned. Alrighty, we are functionally complete. Let's take a closer look. Alright, so got the inside gate holding there, and the big swing gate, and then the small swing gate. So they're both working, but the only thing I haven't done is down on the bottom here, down here, I've got to put some drop bolts, but I don't have a 13mm masonry bit to put a hole in the pavers. So I've got the old gas tank there sitting there just as a bit of a backstop, and I shall do the last little bit another day, but for now we are done. Catch you later. Righto, that's enough about that. You know the drill. Hit the subscribe button and become part of our thriving community. Of course, if you like my videos, give them the big thumbs up and share them if you want, as that helps the channel out. And also hit the bell to get notified when I put up new content. Okay, that's all from me, so stay healthy, keep thinking. As my mum would say, be good, and if you can't be good at it. I'll see you next time.